Leeds' very own Harley-Davidson store right beside the open highway of Wellington Road was the backdrop for a special one-night-only exhibition last week. Springsteen's tour photographer Jo Lopez came to town to showcase some of his greatest shots of the boss in action in front of a crowd of dedicated fans. The exhibition was called The Man Behind the Man. The sobriquet Jo was given by the E Street Band's legendary saxophonist Clarence Clements, the one who first introduced him to Bruce.
Well, you know, I started with Clarence many years before that, like in '96, and we did a stint with Clarence with the Temple of Soul and the Band of Faith, and then what happened shortly after that, the E Street Band got together and we did the Rising Tour. And doing the Rising Tour, I was taken for Clarence. I was Clarence's guy. I was, that's how they came Man Behind the Man for all those years. But what happened was I was taking photos here and there during the Rising Tour, and then as time progressed and a couple of years passed by, Bruce said, "Well, Joe, let me see your book," because he knew I was taking photos, and I guess he liked what he saw because he told me to keep on shooting, and then one thing led to another, and it became a whole thing, a part of the tour, which I was very honored that this great man, this great artist would ask me to photograph the tour for him, which was great. And then after the Wrecking Ball tour, after the last tour with Clarence, I became the tour photographer, which was great. So that was pretty much every day, which was amazing. It's funny because I of course I focus on Bruce, but then I focus on Nils or Roy or Max or Steven and whatnot. They all have their own personality on stage, which is actually pretty neat. So, it's a long show, so I have plenty of time to work each guy, and during the show they all have their parts, which is pretty neat. So that's pretty much how I do it. And I've been with those guys for so many years that I'm at this point where I know what's going on with each person, which is pretty neat.
At a ripe 65 years of age, Springsteen still strides the stage with gazelle-like energy and grace. How exactly does Jo keep up with him?
My wife's a yoga teacher, and she does wellness and health coaching. So she keeps me on the healthy side, and a lot of yoga and a lot of fitness, and that keeps me like in the right spot as far as keeping up with Bruce, because man, he has a lot of energy, and to keep up with him, you got to be in definitely good shape and good health. I want to do more, but at that point, you're running around with two SLRs, two Canons, and after a while they start getting heavy. So it's like carrying around weights with you. So by the end of the show, once we're done, we're in the cars. That's it. I completely shut down. The next day is usually editing and just having some Jo time.
Jo has toured the world with Bruce and the E Street Band, yet he gets surprisingly little time to go visit the sites.
I'll take some time and I'll walk around, and I usually don't bring the camera with me. I'll just a lot of people ask me, "Oh, are you shooting the sites?" I'm like, "Well, I would love to, but sometimes I just need to put the camera down and say, I'm going to give you a little rest for a little while." But I've always been a fan of Paris and love Rome, love Milan. UK, of course. UK is always amazing to be here. But a couple places which are pretty neat are South Africa and Brazil, Rio, which. And of course, the good old USA. You can't beat that. But every city has his own energy, its own magic. So every city we go to, it's always an exciting. Anywhere from the U.S. to South America to Europe to the U.K., there's always something exciting about every city. And every fan, they always bring some magic and something different, which is neat.
It's not the first time Jo has come to Leeds. He was here on July the 24th, 2013, the night Bruce played the very first show at the brand new First Direct Arena.
Again, it's all about the energy, and being here, there's always something different about what the audience brings and what the band brings. And I remember that venue very well. It's actually a beautiful venue. I loved it very much. Came in, and then pretty much left right after that. But I've visited here in the past, and but when we came here, it was at nighttime and it was raining, so it was a quick thing.
It's not only Bruce who's been on the other side of Jo's camera, he's shot an array of star names all over the world.
Yeah, well, I started when I was a child. When I was a teenager, the first band I ever shot was Black Oak, Arkansas. They're a kind of a southern rock band out of Arkansas, the States, back in Arkansas, and that was kind of the beginning. That's when I was shooting film, and as the years progressed, I worked with, I toured with Foreigner, Mick Jones being from here, but also being a big Doors fan, I worked with Ray Manzarek and Robbie Krieger for many years, and we've had some great time shootings, a lot of portraits, but then again, we were touring, so it was kind of like an everyday thing, and just great times of my life.
A good crowd came out to meet Joe to hear his stories and see some incredible pictures of the boss at Harley-Davidson last Thursday.
We're going to meet the fans. We have our photo exhibit capturing images from the past couple of years with Bruce, and just reach out and say hi to everybody. It's great to be here, and thanks to Mark, and thanks to Bing and everybody at Offbeat Lounge, and just happy to meet these wonderful folks.